Well, let's start the hour in South Africa and another dramatic day in the sentencing of Oscar Pistorius. The Paralympian is facing up to 15 years in jail for murdering his girlfriend, Reeva Steenkamp. On Tuesday, her father took to the stand and told the court Pistorius must pay for his crime. CCTV's Yolisa and Njamela has more.
Name Barry John Steenkamp.
The first time Barry Steenkamp has addressed the court, and his testimony was heartbreaking. He began with a moment in February 2013 that his wife phoned him.
I got a phone call from June. I couldn't really understand what she was so upset about, screaming and shouting. At first I thought most probably one of our animals had got killed or so. And she said, "Come home immediately, come home." Anyway, I dropped everything. And on my way home, I tried to fathom out what she tried to tell me. And then I realized that she mentioned Reeva. She says, "Come home immediately," and Reeva's name was there. And that's when I started the panic. And then driving home, I realized more and more Reeva's been killed. It hit me then. It's like it happened yesterday.
Pistorius shot Reeva Steenkamp, claiming he mistook her for an intruder. Steenkamp has suffered several strokes since then and told the court he tried to experience the pain his daughter had gone through.
I don't know whether I was going mental or whatever, but I used to take my fist and hit it up there against the walls with my knuckles. My injection from my diabetes, I used to take the needle and shove it and turn it into my stomach and my arms to see if I could feel the same type of pain, but no. Oscar has to pay for what he did. He has to pay for it. And I don't know, that's all I can say.
How should he pay for it?
That is up to the courts, my lady. It's up to the court, and we will go by the decision that the court hands down to Oscar. But he has to pay for his crime. And I don't want to say that he must go to the maximum or whatever it is, but he has to pay for it.
Both sides have been presenting witnesses this week to try and influence the judge's sentence. Steenkamp's testimony will almost certainly count among the strongest. Barry Steenkamp also told the court that while others might disagree with him or even think that he's callous, he wants the world to see pictures of his deceased daughter after she was killed by Oscar Pistorius. He said perhaps that would deter others from committing the same crime. The prosecution team is to call its final witness Wednesday and says that testimony too will be emotional. Pistorius is expected to know his fate on Friday. Yolisa and Njamela, CCTV, Pretoria.
Well, certainly a dramatic day too in the Pretoria High Court. Now, earlier I spoke to Clifford Gordon, an attorney at C.L. Gordon Attorneys in Johannesburg, to find out whether Barry Steenkamp's sentiments and testimony will hold significant weight when it comes to sentencing.
Well, the judge has to balance the interests of the state with the interests of Oscar himself. So it will count quite a bit for the state's case against, or giving a much harsher sentence than previously, to hear the effect that Reeva's death had on the family. So I believe, yes, it will carry a lot of weight for the judge.
And of course, on the one hand, you've got a psychologist who's described Oscar Pistorius as a broken man, and on the other, a father who says Oscar must pay. From a legal perspective, Clifford, what would be a reasonable sentence for Oscar Pistorius?
I would say the minimum sentence here is 15 years, and I think Judge Masipa has shown herself to be slightly on the lenient side when it comes to this particular matter. So I believe he'll probably get 12 years here.
All right. And of course, we know that 5 days have been set aside for this hearing. Clifford, just talk us through what we're likely to see in the Pretoria High Court over the next few days. Is it at all likely that Oscar himself will take to the stand?
Well, the defense has already had the opportunity to present the evidence, and Oscar did not testify. So I don't, and in fact, from what I have gleaned over the past few days, Oscar has not going to be testifying here. He won't be called to the witness box. So I think also because he's already had, in the previous sentencing hearing, he's had an opportunity to give evidence. So I believe that some of what has already been presented may in fact be used again in this particular hearing. It might not even last the full 5 days. From what I can see, the state has only got one more witness to call in their hearing, but it is possible they will call another witness after this particular one, who will testify tomorrow.